Hello all to all of those young people, and even if there are some adults watching this. My name's Chris Mason. I work for the Huddersfield Methodist Circuit, and I'm here to do our worship time this morning. Did you know that the majority of the people in this world cannot lick their own elbows? Gonna give you a little minute to think about that. And I'm sure that there are now some questions that you want to ask me. And the first one being is, why, Chris, have I just tried to lick my own elbow? All you people that have just tried to lick your own elbow, congratulations if you didn't. But if you have just tried to lick your own elbow, let me just ask you one question, which is, why would you ever need to lick your own elbow? I don't eat with my elbows. I don't dip my elbows in things and think, ooh, I need a taste of that. So why did you just lick your own elbow? But it is something for you to think about, that the majority of the people of the world can't do that. However, some people can. How about this one? Did you know that your forearm, meaning from the inside of your elbow here, all the way down to your wrist, is the same length as your foot? Now this time, for all of you that might be doing a yoga pose or stretching or trying to get the tape measure out or running to get a ruler, I promise you that this one is true. I haven't found out why yet. I don't know, but it is true. The thing is, this kind of shows that our human bodies are sometimes a little bit weird. Sometimes they make noises that we don't want them to make. Have you ever been sat in silence and all of a sudden your tummy starts rumbling? Sometimes our body does things to hurt ourselves and we don't mean it. Have you ever eaten the inside of your face and you're like, I didn't mean to do that and now I'm in a lot of pain? But our bodies are also amazing, like really amazing things. So let me give you some facts. Did you know that you can recognise roughly 3 trillion different smells? I'm going to just put that on the screen back there. That is all of those zeros, 3 trillion of them. You can smell the different things, the different scents, and each one can be slightly different, and your nose can recognise it. Take a sneeze. Your sneeze goes over 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour is a lot quicker than you're allowed to go on the motorway. When you sneeze, your sneeze travels quicker than a car. How about this one? When you listen to music, your heartbeat starts to sync up with the rhythm of the music. So when you're listening to music, if it's a faster piece of music, your heart will start to beat faster. If it's a slower piece of music, your heart will start to slow down a little bit. And a final one for you to think about. And this is a bit of a silly one, but it is one for you to think about, which is, did you know that it's impossible to tickle yourself? I know, it's a bit of a weird one, is that? I'm sure for all of those people that are tickling themselves, that is something that you can think about going forward. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because the human body is incredible. And the beauty about our human bodies is that it all works together. It's not like our arms and leg goes in different directions and anything like that. Let's take an example. Take catching a ball. You've all probably caught a ball at some point in your life. PE for certain. So let's think about it. So if I was throwing a ball to you, I would throw the ball from my hand and your eyes would immediately start tracking it and looking at that ball. And that would look at that ball as it flew through the air. And as it flew through the air, your feet would automatically start moving so that your feet could put you in a place to be able to get that ball. Then your hands would also start moving to try and grab the ball. And finally, everything would work together so that you could finally catch that ball. Think about all of those moving parts that have had to move just to do something so simple. So, I know that we're a little bit of a way into our worship time, and I know you're also sat there thinking, Chris, you told me that this was going to be worship, not a science lesson. So, what is the point that I'm getting at? Well, there is a bit in the Bible that talks about the body. No, it's not a bit in the Bible. I kind of wish it was, that where Jesus doesn't turn around to his disciples and says, did you know, guys, that you can't lick your own elbow? That is not in there. However, there is this bit. It's in Corinthians, and it's a writer speaking to a church, a big group of people. And he says this. Suppose I say that your ear says to your eye, I am not an eye, and therefore is not part of your body. Or what about a foot saying to your hand, I am not a hand, so I am not part of that body? That's a weird thought, isn't it? And I understand that. What if your body parts could speak to each other? What do you think that they'd say? I know that's a weird thought about an eye saying to an ear that they're not the same and everything like that. But the really important bit comes next. And this writer says, what happens if the whole body was an eye? I want you to think about that just for a little bit. What happens if your whole body was an eye? Well, you'd be able to see things really clearly, I'd hope. But you wouldn't be able to taste. You wouldn't be able to hear. You wouldn't be able to walk. You might be able to roll around. You are a big eye after all. But you would no longer be a body that makes up a human. You would just be one big eye. Finally, this final little bit of text, it says that the body parts can't say that they don't need each other. In fact, it's just the opposite. Most of the time, it's the body parts that seem the weakest that we need the most. So, I know that this is all a little bit weird. We have body parts speaking to each other. You've just told me I might be a giant eye, and you might be a little bit confused. However, this idea of the body working together, each one having their own special talents, abilities and thoughts, is really talking about each one of us. You can do things I can't. I hopefully can do some things that you can't. If nothing else, we think differently. That means that the best thing that we can do is probably work together. Let me give you an example. Today I was in a meeting and we are making a little book to go out to over 1,000 people in our churches. And I am the best one on the computer. So I get given all of the computer work to do. However, I am terrible at spelling. If you've got spelling tests to do at all or anything like that, I would be awful at them. So when I've written something, I get one of my friends to read it all through and make sure that's all okay. When my friend has done something on the computer, she gives it to me so that I can make sure that it looks okay. That is working together. If I am a set of eyes, she is being a hand. Together, when we work together, we can make it better. And this is what the Bible is talking about. It's talking about a group of people coming together to use their skills, talents and abilities to be the best version of themselves that they can be. Now, it's been nearly a year since I was last with you doing a worship, and it's been a bit of a weird year. I think we can all say that. You might be working from home right now, or you might be sat in a really small classroom at school. Sometimes we've been told to stay at home, or you might have been told to wash your hands a lot, or maybe even keep a bigger distance from people that you really love. And one of the reasons that we're doing that is because we're all working together. We're all trying to protect each part of the body. That is the point that this is making. Now, there have been loads of doctors and nurses that have been doing an absolutely amazing job looking after loads of people right now. They have been working so hard trying to keep everybody safe. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I'm speaking to largely primary school kids. So I'm not a doctor or a nurse, and I don't think you're allowed to be a doctor or a nurse at your age. So I can't do that job. However, what I can do is I can follow the rules that doctors and nurses have been telling me would really help them do their job. So if that means staying at home for a bit, or if that means staying away from people, or if that means just washing my hands, that is what I'm going to do, because we are all one body and we work together. So let me have another question for you. What else can you do for people right now? It's something that I've thought about, and when I was thinking about it, I thought about maybe not littering when I'm going for a walk, or making sure that I keep things tidy. What about you? What about maybe helping out your grown-ups at home that might be trying to juggle their work and looking after you and all that kind of things? What about helping out your teacher and making sure that you do your bit and do your work? Or you might have done things in the past that you might be able to think about things that you might do in the future. Good examples of this is if you painted or drew a rainbow and stuck it in your window, you were trying to do something positive to help somebody else. Or what about clapping for the carers and all those people that look after us? You might be making somebody's day on FaceTime or Zoom or however else you do it. Might be smiling at people. They are the things that you might be able to do, and I'm sure that you can come up with loads more. And I wonder if you can think about what other people do for you. So we've talked about doctors and nurses, but maybe what about your teachers that are teaching you even when you're not in their classroom altogether? What about the people that might take your rubbish, or the people that deliver your post, or all of these people that do things to help you? I'm sure that you can think of many more than I can, but that is hopefully something for you to think about. This idea of being community, of all having our jobs, our talents, our abilities, is this idea of being one body. But I want you to know that you are unique. You have your own special thoughts and abilities, things that I could never imagine of doing. And I want you to know that that doesn't mean that you've got to be the best at something, because there is only ever one of you. Nobody is quite like you, and you need to remember that. And this is the thing, community is all about being about a part of one big body where we all work together. And do you know what? I believe that's what God created you for. You are completely and utterly unique. You have your own special thoughts and abilities, and it doesn't have to mean that you're the best at something. It just means that you have to be you. And do you know what? The community needs you. This big body of ours that when we all work together, needs you. So what can you do right now? And what can other people do for you? So what I'm telling you today is let's not try and do everything on our own, because it's not good for us to just be one giant eye. Together we make a body. Together we are community. And sometimes it's a little bit weird, and we might not be able to lick our own elbow or tickle ourselves or something like that. Sometimes it might hurt, like you've just chewed the inside of your mouth. But if we do it together, we can do amazing things. And you are all part of that. You can do your bit. And the way that you do that is by being the absolute best version of yourself and giving that up to people. Let people help you, and you help people around you. Be the best version of yourself and be part of that body. We're going to finish by praying, and we'll pray the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, and your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. Right, people, that's me done today. I can't wait to be back to doing a worship time with you at some point in the future. It's always good having a bit of fun with you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, whatever you're doing, and I will hopefully see you soon. Continue to be amazing. Continue to be the best version of yourselves.